Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Aussie today? So we're using the Bill Williams theory of trading at the moment, and it's starting, the markets are starting, especially the Aussie, starting to get to a point where we can rely on the Bill Williams alligator to give us firm direction for some reasonable trades. So it's no longer sort of a 200-300 point trades that it's swinging, but we are getting some decent trades. Okay, so on the daily, so a couple of things here on the daily. So firstly, this inside bar played out and we did rally up to the upside. This bar here, my question is this an exhaustion bar? So you can see how we've got smaller bar, smaller bar, smaller bar, smaller bar, and then all of a sudden a massive bar to the upside. And that is a typical a typical exhaustion bar. Okay, so often when this happens, it's a stretch for a level, and that is the level, which to me is pretty much the top of the range. Yes, we do have some squirts above this range, but for me right now, that is the top of the range. And the second thing that I have is I've got a few questions here. So we have that trend line there. Okay, as you see, 1, 2, 3 touches. So that's the first 3 touches. We did break it here, fell off, and now we've broken it again. So the question is, has this trend broken? Or has that trend broken? Or has that trend broken? Okay, now if we just take this one, you can see we've still got 1, 2. You can argue that's 3 and that's 4. And that's 4 touches on this trend line. And this is touch number 5. Now, the fact that we've closed above it would indicate that we potentially have broken it, but to me, it's confluence of support resistance areas here. So you've got this downward trend line, and you've got the top of the range here. And when you've got multiple trend lines all meeting up in the same area, there's often an indication of something will happen. In other words, you should get a reversal off that level. Okay, so let's just get down to the 30 minutes. And let's just review yesterday's closing range breakout quickly. So yesterday's closing range would have been a pretty awesome strategy to trade. You could have pretty much taken it on this first green bar. So as soon as you saw this green bar in the first half hour of trading, would have given you an indication that we're breaking through the alligator here, and trade along on top of that with a stop below the bar. Okay, and the other thing that gives you confidence on the 30 is the fact that we're above the 200 moving average. Okay, so that gave you fairly good confidence that this is going to trade out. And look how it worked. It worked straight out. It gave us the target number 4, pretty much. And just extend it across. And you can see how we tag target number 4. For today, I think what we want to do is let's just put this in place over there, and you can see how this closing range is exactly the same as this closing range, and that often happens. Right, so a break below this level, and let's just put a line in there. So a break below this level here of 51730 would validate this closing range strategy, and then you have quite a few targets to come and fetch, and that would be my first target, the swing low, and then I would be looking at a retest of this breakout here. Okay, so that's that scenario, and then what I want to do is just pull this down to here, and we can use that line there. Right, okay, so the 61, oh, we've got this the wrong way, sorry. Just delete that, and let's put it in over here. Okay, so the 50% and 61% retracement of this up move is pretty much in this area. Now, the significance of this is as follows. You can see we have the closing range breakout targets are in this area as well. We have the blue line of the alligator, which is the jaws. Okay, it's also in this area. Remember, we're on the 30 minutes at the moment, so that would be an area where you'd expect to bounce. And the last thing of why I'm talking in a bearish manner this morning is that we have a rising wedge. Okay, so we have a rising wedge. We have diversions. See the MACDs pointing to the downside while prices point to the upside. We've got a grouping of all the oscillators. So for me, I have 1, 2, reversal pattern 3, level 4. That's 4 signals at the moment. So what I'm looking for now is any form of bearish price action. And on the 30 minutes, this was a bearish signal here. And then we pretty much still rallied to the upside. So there's no real bearish signal at the moment. So what I'll be doing is drilling down to 12 minutes and watching for bearish signals at the open. Okay, bear in mind that this wedge could break to the upside, okay? And if it does break to the upside, from the first touch at the bottom to the first touch at the top is what you want to do. And then the conservative way of doing this would be to do that. And a lot of people would trade it on a break up there, which also works out. That I just like being conservative. Right, now, just so we don't get confused, let's just make that one blue. Okay. Right, so now what I want to do is just get to the hour, and I want to move to the other side. So, right, so we closed a gap yesterday. Okay, we closed a couple of gaps yesterday in actual fact, but more importantly, you can see where this blue line lines up here. And you can see where there's a lot of interaction at this level. So 1, 2, 3. So this is pretty much the zone that we need to watch for. Okay, so what am I saying? Let's just get here. So quite simple. We do have a wedge here. If it breaks the downside, then you will get your signal short will be here. If it breaks the upside, you're probably going to hit one of these 2 levels here. Okay, so either this level of 52150, or we're going to hit 52325. Now, both of these areas would be a good area for a short as well. Okay, so for me, I'm expecting something to happen at the open. And let's just have a look at what's going on with our good old friend Tencent. Tencent's moving down, so it's 0.4% down at the moment. Hang Seng is down as well. Rand has been extremely volatile, sort of down 1%, 1.5% last night, up 1.43% at the moment. So pretty much the net effect is 0, but it is extremely volatile at the moment. US markets did come off yesterday a little bit. And bear in mind that we have a whole lot of geopolitical noise happening today. So we've got trade tariffs kicking in today. So the China trade tariffs have kicked in. China is stopping imports of a number of things. One of them was coal. I saw yesterday. So they're going to start buying local coal instead of US coal. So there's a lot of things happening. And then obviously Trump is on a Twitter war at the moment, trying to protect his presidency. So, you know, anything could happen. So for me, I think it's going to point to a lot of indecision. So I would be looking for some shorts. Okay. So price action I'm looking for. It would be nice to see a Bill Williams wise man number 1, but the lay of the land here doesn't look very conducive to that. So why do I say that? You can see here's a wise man on the 12. Here's a wise man number 1 here. So in other words, it's basically a pin bar off a level, and the level is the 200 moving average. Remember, we're on the 12 minutes at the moment, and you can see how price. So if I draw a line down like that, you can see how price is moving down. So from where we crossed over the alligator, and I draw another line, a long line. And I draw another line along the midline, which is your red line. okay, which is your teeth of the alligator, basically to the same area where price is. No, move up. Okay, then you can see that these two are deviating from each other, which indicates a wise man number one signal. Anyway, just search through my videos, you'll see that there is a video on that in the how to trade section. So that would be ideal for me. I'd like to see a wise man number one, which would give me a good entry point, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think what we're going to see is sort of a little bit of a consolidation, a move down. Now, one thing I need to point out before I go is we are in a strong uptrend. Okay, so yesterday was an extremely strong uptrend. You can see how the alligator is pointing to the upside. And often what happens after a strong trend, okay, you see how slow it is to turn around. Okay, so don't expect fireworks off the cuff, although it is possible, but the higher probability is that we actually just fiddle around here for the first hour before moving to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some decent price action. That's a good 500-point trade that we have potential set up here, which is nothing to pull your nose up again. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. The price action that I'll be looking for will be things like inside bar, a double top. So in other words, maybe we open pretty much in the same area, rally up back up to this, and then bounce off this level again. And that would be a very, very good trade with a very good risk to reward ratio. Okay, so a break above the high of yesterday of 51944 is going to bring 52187 or alternatively 52325 into play. Now, if that does happen, by all means, you're taking that trade to the upside, but you're paying attention to these levels because the sellers will step in somewhere here. So it's either at this level where we are now or the next two levels up. Okay, so everything is pointing to that. And even if you look at the hour, you can see how we've got a double top on the MACD here, whereas price made a new high. So that is diversions. We've got a very strong grouping, so we're extremely overbought at the moment, with our stochastic sitting at 94 at the moment, and anything over 80 is a warning signal. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, but as I said, be wary. I don't think it's going to fall to the floor. This trend at the moment is very strong. So you can see how, if you just look at the hour, the alligator levels also line up very nicely with each one of these levels. Can you see that? How the first breakout point, which is here, and you can see how the alligator lines up with that at the moment. So your lips is lining up, then your teeth is lining up with the 61.8, and then your jaw is lining up with this breakout retest. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a move to the downside, and we hit this kind of area here. I would expect us to have another attempt to break through this top level. Okay, so that's my take for today. I'm definitely looking for shorts off this level or the next two levels higher up. But if we do continue above the alligator on a low time frame, you can use a 5, 6, 10, 12, 15 minute time frame. And if we do stay above the alligator, that is an uptrend, and you keep trading in the uptrend. If we do drop below it, that's going to give you confidence that we're moving to the downside. Okay, so pay careful attention to this because we could be in for a pretty interesting ride. We could go all the way back down as well. Okay, so that's my take on the Aussie today. I'm looking for shorts, but if we do break this wedge to the upside, I will trade it to the upside, but really only looking for 200-point trade and then a 390, probably a 380-point trade to the upside if we do break up. Okay, so hope that helps, guys. Keep those stops really tight today and enjoy your day. I'll catch up with you later. Cheers.